In 2015, produced by Columbia Pictures and distributed by Sony Pictures, was the film Chappie. The plot had that within Johannesburg of South Africa, the government planned to buy a squad of cutting-edge robots from the weapons manufacturer Tetraval. These machines were developed by British scientist Dion Wilson to help alleviate the overwhelmed and overstretched South African police force. A competing contractor is the remotely controlled Moose, developed by an Australian soldier turned engineer by the name of Vincent Moore. Dion is praised for Tetraval's success, but Vincent becomes more bitter when South African authorities are hesitant to give his more militaristic and heavy-duty weapons equal attention as when compared to the Tetraval robots. Through the story, Dion experiments with an artificial intelligence and considers uploading it into one of the robots. The CEO of Tetraval refuses to let him use a spare robot for his experiment, but unknown he steals a recently damaged unit before it's destroyed. As Dion is returning to his residence, he's ambushed by a local South African gang as members are interested in the damaged unit. Dion is forced to reactivate the robot and installs the artificial intelligence within it. During the activation, the robot is named Chappie by the gang members, as even though Dion wants to remain with the new AI robotic creation, he's forced to leave. The South African gang meanwhile has a debt of 20 million rand to pay off, as what to do with Chappie divides the group. Eventually it's decided that Chappie would be used to help pay off the debt, as Chappie is left in a dangerous area to fend for itself in order for it to learn how to act and function quickly. After being damaged by random thugs, Chappie escaped and returned to the South African gang's hideout. Chappie, as a result, learned how to fight and use weapons, as Chappie was tricked into stealing cars and more illicit activities. The plot had that Vincent obtained a universal key to operating the Tetraval robots, which he uses to disable them throughout Johannesburg, and as a result of the deactivation, crime is out of control, and as Dion obtains Chappie to bring it back to the Tetraval facility to repair it. At the facility, Chappie rigs a moose helmet to allow its data to be transferred into a computer, so when the power within its current unit deactivates, it can exchange bodies. Eventually, Chappie is ordered to be destroyed, with Tetraval forces pursuing it. Through the chaos of the battle, a number of the South African gang members die, and Dion is nearly killed himself. The Moose robot in the facility is activated and nearly destroys Chappie, but is able to destroy the Moose unit by detonating a bomb. Angered by the loss of life all around it, Chappie drives Dev into the Moose production facility and nearly kills Vincent out of anger and revenge for the deaths and destruction that he had caused. Chappie then transferred the consciousness of Devon before his physical body died into a spare robot through the modified Moose helmet, as Chappie's own data is transferred into a new robotic body. The film ends with Chappie and Dion both being forced into hiding due to events in the film, while trying to avoid the fallout with Tetraval. When the film was released, the premise or concept of the film as well as the character Chappie were considered decent, as the implementation of the movie was poor or unrealistic or even unbelievable. Further criticisms were about details that, even though it was an American film, many actors and actresses were South African, much like the setting of the film. So while the film might be relatable, or actors and actresses might be recognized within South Africa or outside the United States, within the United States, few might know who these actors or actresses were. The final aspect of unrealized potential that the film had, that originally in terms of preparations or sequels, there were plans for Chappie to be a trilogy, but due to the misunderstood nature of the film and the neutrality towards Chappie as a character, the plans were never produced. A character can be overrated yet hated because a character was understood in one country, but not another.